Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Snapshots and Stories. I'm your
Hi.
host, Paul Owen, and I think you know who that is over there. Oh, there, over there.
Hi.
Oh, we have Kate. Kate decided to come and chat with us about some photography that she's done. Actually, Kate and I did a collaboration on a photo shoot with our friend Chelsea, and that was so much fun. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a shoot that Kate did at the ice caves out here in Midland,
Mhm.
and it's just absolutely wonderful photography. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into what inspired us to show you both of these different photo shoots that we did, or that she did one night and we did another, and we'll talk about those things. How we put it all together. So for those people out there that are maybe in a bit of a rut, and you're
Mhm.
not sure how to do something or how to go about something, maybe what we'll talk about and show today will give you some inspiration to get out there and say, you know what, I can do that. That's pretty cool. All I got to do is just think about, what's in my head and how am I going to pull it off. And really, most of the times, that's all it takes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, so having said that, we'll start with some of your photos, Kate.
Oh,
Now,
sure.
I you did one, and I really, really, really liked it a lot. And I probably told you a number of times.
Mhm.
But anyway, was the shoot that you did? I'll let you tell me what it is. But this photo that or starter photo set you're going to see is really so inspirational, and a part of what happened with this scene or shot is actually when you posted this, and someone said, "Well, that looks pretty nice, but why would you go through all that trouble when you could just AI it?" And of course, anyway.
I like
I
comments like that. It's good discussion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But in any event, I saw that comment, and I thought, you know what? There's a lot of reasons for doing that, but anyway, it's just interesting. It's interesting that you can still go out there, and there's photographers who are doing this still because it's just a passion of what we do. So anyway, so having said all that, I'll let you go ahead and talk about those photos.
Oh, sure. And thanks for your kind words of introduction. I appreciate that. Um, I think we mentioned in podcasts before a few months ago, in the wintertime especially, you can find yourself in a creative rut. The weather's not pleasant. It's hard to go outside. You have to make a real effort. It can be dangerous for some people to be outside.
Yeah.
Um, there's not a lot going on. So that's kind of where I found myself earlier this winter. There wasn't a lot of creativity going on, but I was just waiting it out. Like I've said
Mhm.
before, like it's sometimes you don't have to always be on the go. Like just kind of let things settle and lean into it a little bit. It's fine. Um, so and then I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Just one day I kind of woke up and I was like, I'm ready to shoot. Like I'm ready to create something.
Mhm.
So I I do two hikes, at least two hikes a year around here, and one of them is the ice caves. I think our locals are all very familiar with that.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to go there, and I had a long sleeve white dress with a hood that I think, you know what, maybe that and like that in the snow could be good. And I thought of my friend Brittany. I've shot her a million times. She's got the beautiful long natural hair, and then plus I wanted to hang out with a couple of my friends. So I was like, you know what, let's go on a hike. So we can catch up as friends, and then I'm gonna bring that dress, and there's gonna be like the perfect prop. And I was like, it has to be a sword. It's
Yeah.
the ice caves, they're pretty big. I feel like if I get an upward angle and my model is very small, I just feel like it could be epic. And I also felt like I wanted to, as I got thinking, like I wanted to do something that kind of portrayed, you know, almost like a David and Goliath kind of thing, like
Mhm.
a small person against like a big obstacle. Like so her with the sword, maybe some sort of you know, like a soft strength kind of thing, like strength in unexpected places. Anyways, so that's where I was going with it. So then I was like, I need a sword. So on Facebook, I put a status, you know, not hoping for a lot, and I just said, does anybody have a sword laying around? And you know what? Within minutes, I got multiple responses on the status, And I got multiple private messages of people saying, what size sword do you want? Do you need multiple swords? Do you need shields? So keep in mind, there is an army of swords ready in St. John area. Anyways, but the first person to message me was my cousin, and her husband, I didn't know, had uh, a replica, I guess, of the sword that they used in Lord of the Rings. I think it's Narsil, the sword that cut off the finger of Saruman with the ring. Anyways, very popular, powerful sword from Lord of the Rings, and it wasn't like a toy; like it was a forged steel sword hanging on the wall. It was very heavy, very tall. It was like 5 feet, and my model is 5'1". So, anyways, it was perfect. So we tied it. We tied it up into a sled, and I dragged it all the way up in the hill, through the woods, down to the ice caves. We put some body chains on her. I had these body chains I'd never used before. A friend of mine, she was a professional belly dancer. She now lives in Egypt, and she offloaded a bunch of her stuff to me and never used them. So like we had these like massive like chains. Like how do these even go on someone's body? So it was quite a thing to hike down to the ice caves with. If you've ever been there, it's not easy getting in and out. I did not actually think we were going to make it out. Anyways, so she held the sword. It was like as tall as her body. It was all she could do to hold it. But as soon as we were kind of playing around, we had like a little plastic sword that we were kind of practicing with. And then when it was time to take the real photos and bring out that sword, I swear like that sword had a presence when we took it out, and she held it up. Like it was almost like everything just kind of silenced as she held the sword. And like when you see the photo, it was just it.
Yeah.
So anyways, it turned out even better than I thought. There wasn't a real vision. It was just kind of like, let's go to the caves with the dress and the chains and the sword, and I think it'll just happen.
Yeah.
So
We'll show the photo because it's or one of the photos, but
sure.
um, when I first saw it, and again it looked something just right out of a movie set, and I think that's what you were going for based on what you're saying,
Yeah.
and that's and you know you knocked it out of the park. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, zoom right up on that. There we go. That is just
Like
unbelievable.
look at that sword. Like it's just almost the whole length of her body.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was just such a, and with the ice in behind, I just really like the contrast of her, like her small stature and like her soft beauty. You may not think that a small woman could be strong. Like, I don't know, just like kind of
Yeah. Yeah. No.
the symbolism of it. And then, she's got the massive sword and she's kind of standing her ground. You don't really
Yeah.
know what's in that cave, but I feel like she's
Well,
ready for what's ever going to come out.
she's got definitely a very dominant presence
Very.
in that photo, and I almost think like she lives there and she's just
Oh,
come
maybe,
out to
maybe.
to see if what's going on and make sure that she's not being observed by
Yeah.
a danger of some sort.
Or she's
Anyway,
guarding it or something. Like it really, it kind of
yeah,
could be, it's open. Like the interpretation is open
yeah,
to the viewer. Like even I feel, even if I have a certain thing that I'm communicating with art, it
hmm,
doesn't mean that's what you're going to get out of it. It could be, it's
right,
personal to the people looking at it. So
yeah. So I noticed that on this, we'll look at the other photos in a minute, but on this particular one, I'm not seeing the face, and I love the mystery. So what was the point of that?
I like with a lot of my photos to use hair as a face blocker, or usually someone will be turning their head.
Yeah,
I just I feel that it leaves interpretation open a little more,
yeah,
and also it gives a little like anonymity to the model, especially in our local community where it doesn't. It's like, oh, that's Brittany, or oh, that's
yeah,
whatever. It kind of just leaves. I don't know how to describe it except maybe saying like it leaves it open to interpretation a little bit more. Like
yeah,
that could be your face. If that speaks to you, that could be your face. Like that could
yeah,
be your mom's face, or it could be your wife, or like if you're envisioning a certain person or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just the whole thing because you don't see the face, and I never thought of that before. But when we did the shoot together, we talked a little bit about that, and the more that we talked about that, when I look at this photo again, the more I see the impact that makes, which is the less is more situation, right?
Yeah. And then when I don't photograph my models' faces, which I don't in a lot,
Hmm.
it allows them to not have to worry about it,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Yeah, but
So
still, anyway, the mystery on this one is with all of that, it's just so good because I mean, how many shows have we seen where a character, especially in the beginning of a movie, will come out, they're sort of in the shadows, but we know they're the alpha of the whole thing, or they're the
yeah,
star of the whole thing, and then all of a sudden they slowly come out and we start to slowly see their facial features. And that's
yeah.
kind of what I get when I'm looking at that same sort of thing. So anyway, really, really well done.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
kudos to Brittany too, because it was so slippery. So she was bracing herself, standing like it was a very, very thin layer of snow on that ice.
Yeah,
And so she's holding that sword was so awkward to hold and heavy. So
yeah,
she really nailed it.
yes, she did.
So, yeah.
Everything about the shot, the posture, the hands, everything about that is just so perfect. All right, so you got
So
another shot of the same scene
yeah,
or same area
so I
shooting the
don't know.
shit.
I do. And so we had another sword that was a practice kind of I almost don't want to say this, it might ruin the photos, people looking at it, but I'm just gonna stop sharing for a sec.
There you go.
It was plastic. So I'm gonna pull
Oh,
a picture up of that, of the plastic one. Let's do this one. Okay. Go.
it's so exciting to go out with the anticipation, knowing
Yeah,
that you're going to shoot something, but not sure what it's going to be until you're
don't
done,
know.
right?
I've never used swords before, so
Yeah. Oh,
so
this one, yeah.
it's a plastic sword.
You know what? I saw that photo a number of times, and I would have never known that.
No, it
Yeah,
almost ruins it for me because I just know it's like a little hollow plastic sword. So it's all that I see when I look at that photo.
yeah.
But a lot of people when they see it like, oh, they do love it. But
No,
yeah,
the way that she's looking up towards that ice, it's almost like she's in a, how do you say it, a moment of where she's kind of soul searching, or even
interesting.
praying or thinking about something, right? And it's all a very surreal moment for her.
Yeah, and it came across to me as she's going in there to defeat something and it's big and she's afraid and she has a very small
Ah,
sword, but she's going to do it anyway.
yeah, it works for that too.
Yeah.
So when you were shooting this, obviously you're shooting from an angle. I just want
Yeah,
to just talk a little bit about how you shot the photo to begin with.
sure.
Did you what lens? Do you remember what lens you used for it?
Yeah, so they were all done on my 35 and I did not want it to be my 35. I didn't bring the lens I wanted, so I had to really adjust my distance from her
Okay.
to do it. Like I had to get down. I had to get down and like into the snow. I had to go back. Um it wasn't what I wanted, but I mean, whatever.
Well,
Like you
but it
adjust, right?
worked. It
Yeah.
worked. The fact that you went to the 35 or had the 35 with you, as opposed to the 50 or the 85, you probably wouldn't have got the ice the way that you got it had you had the longer lens, right?
I was lucky, and it's funny because I did have my three primes, but I didn't have my wide angle. So I carried all that weight. I carried all that weight through the hike for nothing because I just used a 35
Well,
anyway.
anyway, the 35 for that shot was perfect choice because it's really it makes her look so um, powerful yet small compared to what's going on in front of her. And if you hadn't have captured all of that, um,
Yeah,
surroundings, I mean, if you zoom in on it, how impactful is it? See, like even
not as
that,
much.
it's still very nice at that. But when you go back out even a little bit further, then it really shows you scale, and it
Yeah,
really shows you that she's in this massive mountain of ice, and
yeah.
yeah,
And we were lucky too because the caves were really dramatic this year, and I'm not joking when I say we almost couldn't get out. Like the third person in our party,
yeah.
she fell and she slammed her head down against the ice.
Oh,
I really thought that we were gonna have to call someone to actually get us out.
Wow.
But we were lucky because no one was there until we started to leave.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's okay?
Oh yeah, and she was fine. She was fine. Yeah.
Good.
Well, yeah. So
Oh,
because we dragged a sled in with us with our supplies, we were able to sled most of the way down the hill once we
oh, good.
got there. We got to the top.
The stuff happens on a shoot. You just don't know, eh? People see a
Oh,
photo and they have no idea what went on
yeah,
around it.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'd say
Oh,
those are the two main photos from the shoot.
yeah. Well, like I say, that was so inspirational for me because you've done a lot of stuff before with women in long dresses near the river's edge and shots like that. And but to do that one in the ice, that's probably your first time doing that, is it?
Yeah, I've never done anything like that shoot
Yeah,
before. Yeah.
yeah. That was a step. That was a step. I won't say step up. It's just another type of imagination that came to life in the form of a photo.
It
And
really I feel like any advice I can give anybody is just like, and you said it earlier, it was perfect. Like, just let your imagination run wild. Think about when you were a kid. Like, what were the movies that you were watching? Like, we watched so many fantasy movies as a kid. Like, like I'm thinking now, like even the image of Brittany in the white dress with the long hair, like that brings back. My dad would dig out these like movies that no one had ever heard of before, and it
yeah,
would just be like really old, weird fantasy movies.
yeah,
And you know they strongly shaped even now just just daydreaming images that come through. And you know
yeah,
I don't know, so everybody has those, everyone does,
yeah,
especially our generation and my generation, like our yours and mine and in between, because I don't know, I feel like we had a different we had a different input coming into us in the form of shows and movies and books.
yeah,
We read a lot more, I think, than people do now. I'm as
yeah.
a whole.
I think,
And you know
yeah,
the mental
yeah.
images that generates, like sometimes you just have to get them out.
That's it. What we're exposed to, I think, is a little different because of the generational thing anyway. Because um, how we look at life was different than how people look at life now. Even as a younger person coming up, and what am I going to do with myself now today? How am I going to do, my future? Some people don't even look that far anymore. And
Right.
before, and I'm a little older than you, but when we come up, it's like, okay, we got to get it together, make sure that we, do what we need to do so that when we get older, that we can,
Yeah.
do what we're supposed to do at that age, be ready for
Yeah.
all that. And during all of that stuff, all of those influences on TV and movies and all of those things were based around those values. And
Yeah.
and now it's kind of changed a little bit.
Mhm.
So
Well, it's funny. It makes me think of Lord of the Rings, which was a big inspiration, obviously, for the shoot.
right.
And the and the story, like that whole story, it transcends every generation. Like you watch it now, and the message is, it's almost as if he wrote it for the future. But it also made sense when he wrote it, what, in the 20s or the 40s. And your generation read it. You probably
Yeah.
read it over and over. My generation, we were gifted with Peter Jackson's like beautiful trilogy,
Yeah.
and even still, like his beautiful like screenplay or whatever, like it was so good. It inspires me to create pictures like that. And I'm
Yeah.
sure other people are like that. So it's just interesting, like
Yeah. Yeah.
the follow through of something like a classic story like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's look at another shoot that actually you and I did. And the I guess you've actually got a picture. I'll get you to bring it up.
Oh, sure.
But the back scene on this one was, I had in my head I wanted to do a photo of somebody in an elegant looking dress, and I wanted it to be almost time period, like a little bit, back in time, or a little bit at least in a different society, kind of an era. And I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to put something on a wall that would stay there for centuries, like when back in years and years ago when people got family portraits done or portraits of people, they were so elegant and they were so ornate and they hung them on the
Mhm.
wall, and that was just amazing. And I thought, I want to create a photo like that, my background, as a lot of folks out there in the in the viewership know, that I'm a musician as well. So I wanted it to be somebody musical. And so anyway, so I conveyed that information to you, and then immediately you said, Chelsea. I said, yes, Chelsea. And because we did a shoot with her before,
Mhm.
and this one was going to be a little different. And anyway, so we were able to kind of get that idea going. But I had in my head I wanted to shoot it like a portrait, already framed, so that when I shoot the photo, there's no adding the frame in; it's there. So if you bring up that photo first, and we'll show you some behind the scenes stuff. There we go. Okay. So as uninspirational as that photo looks, it is the whole basis behind the photo that we actually ended up with. So the idea here was to frame what we wanted to frame, and that wasn't even my frame of choice. That just happened to be a frame that I had that I was practicing with to try to get this, because I wanted to get it all in one shot. And so to do that, this was a whole balancing act, because by the time it's all said and done, the person's going to be in that frame, the scene is going to be completely in that frame, and the frame is going to be in focus, even though the frame is, you can see how close it is to the camera, because it had to be that close to the camera to get the composition that I needed from the scene, which was quite a ways against the wall. So because it was to the point where I had to get everything in focus, I couldn't use an 85 millimeter lens, because it
No.
would never be in focus. The frame would never be in focus. It would be out of focus. Then I would have to AI it in, and I didn't want to do that. So I went to a 24 millimeter focal length for this, so that first of all, I could get the frame in. Now, the danger that we run into with the 24 millimeter focal length is if you don't have that exactly smack on perfectly lined up with that frame, then your frame's going to look all wonky. It's going to
Oh yeah.
distort. The edges are all going to distort and all of that. And the same for your scene that you're trying to shoot too. So there were so many factors into setting this up technically to make it work, that's why I had to spend all this time just playing with that. That's my new mannequin, by the way, back there.
Yeah.
All this time, and to make sure that, okay, how far does the camera have to be from the frame? And besides all of that, besides lighting up the frame or the scene, I also had to light the frame, but the light that's on the frame couldn't go against the light that was on the scene.
It's
So I had to
so technical.
it was so technical, it was unbelievable. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to explain some of that, because this is for me why I do photography. It's because it's like a puzzle, and how am I going to make this work? And then once you're able to technically make it work, then your artistic side can come out, and whatever you're going to do with your picture, that's all in your head. That's the end result. But there's so many hurdles to get through to get to that point, right? Okay, so if you want to stop sharing that, then I'll share a little bit of what we did. Now, Kate was so instrumental in this photo shoot for me. First of all, she got the dresses that we used in the shoot. And I mean, I couldn't go and pick a dress, you know,
Well, just
but
luck of the draw again, like marketplace, red.
yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
show, and you had the red flowers. It worked out so well.
Yeah, well, and it's all funny because the whole thing worked out because it was supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Because I had those flowers and stuff I got first. We talked a little bit about color scheme, but not a lot. And then
Yeah.
you just ended up, okay, well, this is what we got. And we went with it, and everything worked beautifully. So I'm going to share my screen now here. Let's see if I can do this correctly. There we go. Perfect. So there is, and I'm just going to see if I can't make that so that it shows a little bit bigger on the screen for everybody. I guess it doesn't make that much difference. Okay. So there is, oops. Oh, it's doing the slideshow.
Oh,
I didn't want it to do that.
just
Darn.
wants to get the good stuff.
Okay, let me just stop that for now. See if I can
So
figure it out to
beautiful,
stop
though.
it. There we go. All right. I'll just go into the, there we go. I'll do it this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so there's Kate and I all getting set up and ready to go with our beautiful background that that I used for the first time. I borrowed that from a friend of mine, Janet Sear. Janet, thank you so much. I actually liked it so much I bought one, so now I have a bigger
It's
version of that.
beautiful.
And so that's us getting ready. So on the first shoot,
Wow.
oops, this isn't it. Let me show this one. This is what we ended up with because of the boundaries of time. I'm going to have to fly a little bit. So this is
Frame.
what we ended up with for that shot. So you can see that the frame now is a totally different color. And all I did was just go in and select it and just color it down so that it matched the scene. So let's dig right into the scene.
Oh my gosh.
And
It's so good.
and that just turned like Chelsea was just so amazing
Yeah.
on that photo. The dress you chose, Kate, couldn't have been any better. It had every element to make her look the way that she looked.
Yeah.
And you know, between you guys getting the poses right and stuff, this was just unbelievable.
But your
And
two
it,
props in the back look great. Like it just wouldn't have the same fullness without those two props. You put a lot of thought into those,
yeah, I
you
did.
know,
When
it makes a difference.
it's funny because originally we were going to put a painting on the wall because this was
Mm,
about being a painting, and I'll show you the next photo in a second. But then we took the picture off and then we put the table in, and with that lamp because that suited
yeah.
that scene so much better. It's much more understated. But you like you said, those flowers for some reason just
Yeah.
and that vase, you know.
The frame, it like the way that you have it lit up, which is perfect. It almost gives it like a 3D effect. Like I want to walk into it. Like
Yeah,
I feel like I could reach my hand in to the
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
It's really nice.
So that's kind of how we did that one. Now I took that after I was done because I still wasn't quite satisfied, and I'm still not completed with it. But what I did with it is I made it a little bit bigger, and if you get in just a little tighter, I gave it an oil paint treatment, right? So eventually I'm going to edit the frame back in, and I'm probably going to print that and actually hang that on the wall.
It looks like an oil painting.
Yeah, yeah, and that was the vision that I had in my head to begin with. But to make that happen, it's all those technical things that you have to get into
Wow.
as a photographer, right? To get be able to pull that off. So
How much time would you say that you spent setting up the scene and getting everything ready for her to step in?
probably a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, the light had to be just right. We used just one light on her, right? Which is
Yeah.
and it worked because I had to play with it a lot to figure out. I just want to light up the background just enough so that it kind of silhouettes or not silhouettes, but uh,
Vignettes.
vignettes her
Yeah.
in that scene, and it just between the two of us, we got exactly what my vision was. We
Oh,
shot a few other ones, and
love it.
she is so elegant. She's just
Yeah.
amazing.
You can tell that she plays a violin by the way she holds
Yeah,
everything.
she's
Yeah.
professional. And then we did
Oh,
another shot with her, which I just absolutely loved. We saw this in a magazine, and I said, "Let's see if we can pull it off." She's got the dress, she's got everything. Let's do it, and we
yeah.
did it, and that turned out really, really good. So, anyway, so that was kind of. I'm going
So
to stop
nice.
sharing now. Um, that was kind of our venture into that scene. So, oh my gosh, 28 minutes already. Isn't it wild? It's never
It doesn't surprise me.
yeah. But anyway, so for everybody out there who saw what we've gone through, what Kate did for her scene at the ice caves, and what we did for this particular scene here, there's so much that you can do if you have it in your head. You can do it.
Mhm.
I believe that,
Yeah.
if you don't have the skills, you can learn them. But the main thing is it's the vision. It's what do I want to shoot? And I mean, I could say, oh, I want this, and I can type it in, and I could have AI give it to me. But that's not photography. That's just computer art. But what we did here was photography all the way through both sets of photos that we showed, and it was so fulfilling when you're sitting there and you're at the end of it and you look at it and you look at each other and you're high-fiving and
Mhm.
it's going to be a great photo and a session. And that's really for me anyway, what it's all about. How about you, Kate?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's just making the memories along the way is part of it.
Yeah. And for future shoots, because you've expanded your boundaries, you can do a little bit more. So
For sure.
anyway, well, oh my gosh, Kate, it's been so nice having you.
It
Oh
was
my
nice to be
gosh,
on.
it's been too long.
Yeah. Time flies like it did before.
Oh, this is so much fun. So anyway, everybody out there, thanks for watching. Hopefully this inspired you to go out and do something else if you are in a little bit of a rut. Go on Pinterest. If you just, have an idea in your head, something you want to shoot, just go on Pinterest and just type in what it is you want to shoot. Get some ideas, get inspired that
Mhm.
way. And
Oh,
then
big
from
time.
there you can say, you know what, there's something I'd like to try. And then go
Yeah.
ahead and go out and try it. And you'd be surprised how much you can actually do when you start working towards something that's actually a tangible vision, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so for Kate and I, thank you so much for watching. Kate, thank you so much for being here. It was
Thanks for
just
having me.
amazing. And we will see you next week on Snapshots and Stories. So for now, we will see you then. Make
Bye.
this happen.